Hello, beautiful YouTube. Hello, beautiful YouTube. It is Emily. I hope you're having a wondrous day. This is a timeless message, even though we have a beautiful Christmas tree in camera today. I thought I'd show her off. Before we begin, I just want to take the delicious frequency of this rose quartz and clear the space, clearing anything that is not in the resonance or frequency or vibration of unconditional love, and anything that is not going within the law of one and the will of divine source creator. Sweet. Okay. So I want to tell you some stories to help you understand clairsentience, because I feel like stories can do it better than I could explain. So let's go to first story, okay? I'm with my dad and my brother, and my dad has been to Chicago before. It's my brother and I's first time. We're going to find a place for me to live because I'm about to go to art school. And we get off, we take, the red line down into the city. We had to have been somewhere close to the state exit because what happened occurred at the McDonald's there. I don't remember the exact name of the train stop, but we get off and we go up the platform and we're walking, maybe 3, 4, 5 feet down the street. And I look at my dad and my brother and I'm like, this is unsafe. Something is deeply unsafe. They're like, oh, Emily, you've just never been to Chicago before. It's fine. I'm like, no, something feels very scary. No, come on, let's keep going. We turn the corner. There's literally a gang shootout happening at the McDonald's. People are ducking, people are screaming, people are running down the elevator, people are frantically spraying out in all directions. Okay, this is the power of clairsentience. It's almost as if your energetic field goes before you, precedes you, and you're things in a way that other people don't know. Okay. Now, clairsentience is expanding right now. Okay, a lot of people are going through a huge expansion of their clairsentience. So as somebody who has lived my entire life with this gift, I feel like I can really help people understand maybe some of what's going on for them at this time. Okay. So I'm in Glastonbury and I go into, there's so many magical shops in Glastonbury, but I go into one of them and it's a wand shop. However, I did buy a wand. I bought a wand, but I gave it to my friend Jessie because it wasn't my wand, it was Jessie's wand. However, I also bought this seer stone. And actually that's a good memory, but I don't think that's appropriate here. Okay. I'm perusing the wands. I'm just like, hello wands, talking to them. And there's a woman in the shop. She's, behind the counter. And all of a sudden I just start, feeling her energy. I'm like, whoa, this woman is so Magia. This is whoa. And she doesn't say much. She's just like, if you need any help, I'm here. I'm like, yes, okay, thank you. And so I tested a few of the wands and I decided on the one that was Jessie's wand. And I go to the desk and she's like, dragon vibes. And I was like, you too. I was thinking the same thing. And in that moment, I realized the thing that people had been saying to me, especially sensitive, intuitive people, had been saying to me for years. Wow, Emily, whenever you're with me, I can see more and more clearly than if you're not here. I can hear more clearly than when you're not here. I know things, I can feel things deeper and more clear when you're here than when you're not here. Okay, this is something that I had commonly been told, but never really thought of it as anything special until I was in the shop with this woman and she showed to me the power of someone who is very, very, very clairsentient, and how that attunement can open dimensions when you're in the presence of a person in such a clear way. Okay, so clairsentience is, I used to feel it was a burden. I didn't understand it. Now that I understand it, I feel it's less of a burden. What I did used to feel is that I was too sensitive, and I used to feel actually shameful about how sensitive I was, and try to mask it and hide it, and keep my sensitivity all just like buried down there, and not show people that, like, yeah, I'm a human being with a big tender heart, and that hurts me when you do that. And for the most part, I still am quite private with my sensitivity, but I also caretake it. I caretake that part of me, not like it's a burden or something I need to be ashamed of or something that's undesirable, but something that is actually a deep, deep gift and is so helpful to any person's life that I am in. And I've also learned that some people just don't want your help. And even though, okay, for example, if you're super clairsentient, say you live your life primarily and your throat is really open and you never feel tension here, then you go and you get with someone, okay, your field is like if you have this gift, it's like a plasma, crystalline plasma. Okay, crystalline, yes, like think of the highest caliber of a crystal frequency, but think of it liquid. It's like a liquid crystalline energy. And when you're with someone, you will actually shift and shape shift, like literally into what is going on with this person. This is what makes people who have a lot of clairsentience beautiful harmonizers. Like, you know, you go in a group and you can feel like, oh, that person over there is feeling awkward and that person over there is a little depressed. I could cheer them up. I could go make them feel less awkward. And you kind of just become like, it's weird. It's like, especially if you're a woman, I think, and I only know it from the perspective of a woman, but as a woman, you have such like a nurturing, caretaking energy. That's just a natural instinct within you. And yeah, I actually don't recommend, if you have this gift, once you become aware of it, it's not your responsibility to caretake everyone. And in fact, you will end up being exhausted if you do. And also, you know, you will do so much energetic work on behalf of other people, and they may never even understand or know the things that you feel, understand, and know. But it is of high importance that you understand this about yourself. Okay, now I don't know, I can only speak for myself, and so I will also share something else that I don't know if this is part of the gift or if this is something specific to my particular soul incarnation. This happened to me well before 2019 when I had a very big experience of walking in. So I have sat in front of 3 women that I would consider powerful seers. And most recently with my dear friend who, she is, I just, Bethany, if you're out there and listening, like, I love you. You are just a shining, glowing goddess in my world. What a privilege and honor to be seen by you. But also, these 3 women, all incredibly talented. Now, I believe in Carl Jung's, the great Swiss psychologist, theory of synchronicity. Okay, 2 or less, like, I don't know, 3 times or more, God's talking. So you sit down in front of 3 powerful seers and they all say the exact same thing to you. You got to start to ask yourself, like, what's going on here? So in front of 3 powerful women, I have been told that while I am sitting in front of them, I am shape-shifting, just changing form. Of course, these women are clairvoyant and have the gift of clairvoyance, but I'm just sitting there changing, okay? And the forms that they have described are I mean, things that are not on this planet, as well as things that are on this planet, as well as things that are in the, we'll call elemental kingdom of this planet. Okay, so just like shifting. I feel that, I don't know if this is of all clairsentient people or just a function. I don't know if function's the right word. A quality, an attribute of someone who has like a really expanded clairsentience. But I will say that what I have noticed is that, you know, maybe I just said this, but I guess I'll reiterate it, is like, it doesn't matter who comes into your life, okay? It can be the stranger on the bus, the person you're checking out at the grocery store, the best friend that you have, the mother that is your mother, the sister, just grandma's, cousins, aunts, boyfriends, anything, right? You get with them and say that you're a person and you don't normally feel like you have this like deep pain in your solar plexus, and then you're with them and you're like, whoa, I feel a deep pain in my solar plexus. It's like, for many years, sorry about that, I just got a phone call and I had to go help my dad and I had to go get all these things, and it was long and drawn out process. So I actually am kind of a little bit disconnected from the channeling that we were doing. But I want to wrap up this message. I don't feel that I have the energy to try to record it all and all the things. So I just want to say, as your clairsentience increases, your energetic hygiene must also increase. As your sensitivity increases, you're going to know, feel, see, and understand things about people that maybe people don't even understand about themselves. And it's not your job, it's not your duty to try to caretake and help everyone, even though it's a natural impulse in many women to do so. You're just going to not do that. And if you do it, make sure that you have people's permission to try to help them, because when people, okay, we've talked a lot about how like everyone is a fractal of source, and some people are more conscious fractals and more aligned with divine source energy, and some people are more unconscious fractals. And people who are unconscious, there's usually forces working with someone who's deeply unconscious that do not want a person to become conscious, because if that person becomes conscious, then those forces that have been working through that person are going to no longer have the loosh and the fuel and the, you know, people who are out there just like creating pain in the lives of other people and then using that pain to like, it gets so dark. You start to wake up, I mean, you have to adjust to some of the darkness that you see. But, you know, if you're like trying to help someone wake up, the dark parts of that person might actually turn on you. And you know, like that was a hard lesson for me to learn when I was first awakening into like a new expansion. And I know that there can be so many and it's unending. It's like, but I'll just say that, yeah, just like really understand that, you know, you're just so worthy. Like, you know, feeling deeply sensitive and having that gift of sensitivity, people often look down on sensitivity and they don't value it. And for that reason, I feel like maybe part of the reasons why this life I had struggled with self-worth. But, you know, one time God just like hugged me, God source, and was like, Emily, like, your worth is my worth. Your power is my power. Your truth is my truth. You know, and I think this is like such that humble knowing of like, yes, God is the real doer. God does all through me. My job is to get out of the way and let God do. And this is something that we all come into. Okay, that feels like a great place to end. If you have stayed to the end of this message, be sure to give a thumbs up, write a little comment, send to someone who you know is sensitive and clairsentient, and this could help. Oh, final thing, I decree, this is what you say, okay? I decree, I declare, and I command. To decree means you just decide, okay? You can always decide. Yes, this world is dual. Yes, you can get to a place where you don't even see duality. It's like, but we're also in the earth. And we're also, like, people are like, oh, unity. It's like, yeah, we're not going to spiritual bypass. We're also individuals. And it's about the balance, but there's always choice. You always get to choose on this earth plane. And so you can use your free will choice to decree, declare, and command by the power of the divine source, because it is divine source that does all through you. To cut all energetic cords, ties, hooks, binds, spells, soul contracts, anything that is not for your highest good and the highest good of this earth, across all times, spaces, dimensions, realms, domains, levels, and layers of your being, and to reconnect all of that back to God, source, love. And yeah, it's that is a power statement. It is powerful. You use it enough and you will feel the power of it. Okay. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.